0-0 on a very chilly night here at Rugby Park. We'll talk to all of the guys shortly, but let's get some immediate reaction from the away dressing room now. Striker Esmael Gonçalves and the captain Perry Kitchen are with Ailey Barber.
Perry, it looked quite a frustrating night out there. How do you reflect on that point?
Yeah, it's we're coming here, working for 3 points. We didn't get that. Positive is we got the shutout. That's 2 in a row now. So it's something to build off of. But we're just not finding the net right now. That's the hardest thing to do, but we get back to it and work toward the last 5 games.
Isma, there were a couple of chances towards the end. Do you feel that you perhaps did deserve a goal towards the end there?
Yeah, we played good. We controlled the game, I think. We were the better team. We had some chances in the end. We have to finish them, because if not, it will be difficult, but we keep working.
How do you feel the system is working in the forward areas? Do you feel confident amongst yourselves as players that it will click soon and the goals will come?
Yeah, I think yes, because we are working hard and we're just missing this small star, this small lucky, and I think it will come with the time, but right now it's a hard moment, but we keep working.
Perry, I have to ask you, there's a lot of instruction coming from the side and a lot of them in note form.
Right.
Can you tell us what the notes say?
They're just, with changes coming, subs coming on, just tactical changes, stuff that they saw from the sideline. It's nothing groundbreaking, just basic information.
You look towards the end of the season, the post-split fixtures, there's some particularly tough away games to come for you. What targets do you set yourselves as players and what you want to achieve between now and the end of the season?
Well, we take it one game at a time. We digest this game, learn from it, and then our goal is to get to the 4th spot, and with 5 games to go, that's what we aim for.
Thanks so much, guys. All the best.
Thank you.
Well, I guess the good news for Hearts is the losing run on the road. That ends at 4 tonight. The bad news is, well, that was not a good enough performance, was it, Gary?
No, I've certainly seen Hearts play better. You're certainly looking for more for them in an attacking sense. Perry's saying there, it's 2 clean sheets in a row, so they'll probably take the positives for that. But certainly they'll be looking to attack a lot more and look to pick up 3 points rather than just 1.
Gonçalves said played well, controlled the game. Do you agree with that?
No. I think at the start of the game we spoke about wanting to build on the back of a good result against Dundee. They haven't. Ian Cathro himself said it was essential to get a win. They haven't. It was poor. Let's not beat around the bush. It was poor. It was brutal at times, and yes, it's a clean sheet, but there's not many other positives to take from that.
For a team who's looking to push for 4th, and had expectations of 3rd and 2nd earlier in the season, they've completely lost track of what they're trying to do. You watch the game tonight, and it's like individuals playing within a team. I know that sounds silly, but there's no real structure to what they're trying to do. Yes, they're circulating and they're rotating and they're moving, but the purpose and the end goal of how they're trying to get there was completely missing tonight. With the players they have, Gonçalves and Jamie Walker and Cowie, Doom, top-class players in the Scottish Premiership. Tonight they just looked average.
Yeah, Jamie Walker getting taken off, that's a strange one.
You were bamboozled by that, weren't you?
He's the top goal scorer. He's the one guy that you could maybe expect to create a bit of magic out of nothing, and that's what Hearts needed tonight, because it certainly wasn't coming from great build-up play. And Craigs is talking about it there. At half-time he spoke about playing with a purpose. Hearts did not have a purpose to the game. Rotation, keeping possession, just for the sake of it.
What's the root of the problem? Are the players not getting the right message from the manager, or are they not delivering for the manager and the message he's given them?
You're tough to ask the players that question.
What do you think from what you've seen?
Now, looking at it there, we touched on it at half time. When Chole came on, I thought Hearts looked quite dangerous because they had a bit of width. We're saying that a lot of the times in the first half they're trying to play through wee tight areas, and they have got players. They've got Sam. Obviously Sam Nicholson's not here tonight, but he's very good in the wide position. Jamie Walker's good in the wide position. Chole showed tonight that when he gets the ball and he's direct, he could be a threat, and if Hearts were to get a bit of width to their play, I think they could cause teams problems. But unfortunately the last few games they don't seem to play with any width.
So you're saying there's enough quality in that team to make a difference?
Definitely. There's absolutely no doubt about it. There's enough quality in the Hearts side. But also, just taking it a bit further from what Gary's saying there, quite clearly he wants to play with, the wide players or the width coming from the full-backs. But when you've got nobody higher up the park that's going to move the full-back of the opponent, the full-back for Hearts is just running, and everything, they can see everything in front of them. If you've got guys like Jamie Walker or Sam Nicholson who like to come off the line at times, that gives the opponent a difficult decision to make. Do I track him, or do I wait for the deep fullback that's going to run forward? At the moment, it's just static and it's easy to defend
Play
against.
your best players in their best positions. And any time we saw Jamie Walker on BT Sport, particularly at Sandcastle against Rangers and lighting the game up, coming off the left-hand side, coming off the right-hand side, coming into the game when he can take people on and can play in space. Tonight, he looked lost. He looked a shadow of himself. Is that because he's not playing well, he's playing with lack of confidence, or is it because he's not too sure what he's supposed to be doing?
On Kilmarnock, do they deserve some credit? Because you said a few of their defenders played well tonight, and also they were better in the second half. They did create some chances. A little unlucky not to have grabbed a goal.
Yeah, I thought Kilmarnock started the second half really well. They were on the front foot for the first 20-25 minutes. You know, Jones, I felt, was always a player in the game that looked likely to open Hearts up. And you know, you see the difference. They had a little bit of width to their play. You know, they held the wider positions. The two wide men for Kilmarnock, I thought, did reasonably well. But Jones was always a threat. And you know, on another night, you know, Chris Boyd, if he had his shooting boots on, he might have got a couple of goals.
Had a few chances, didn't he?
He did, and you know, Gary's totally right. You know, the start of that second half, Kilmarnock were the team that came out the traps, and you see here balls in from wide areas. He was very disappointed. You see that afterwards he was pulling his hair out almost. What he's got of it. This is the best one. It's the best chance. You know, and it drops them there. You're thinking that's, you know, it's the one guy you want to see hitting it. And you know, for this one's just the fact that he's past the back post. Very difficult to get his head round it and get it back on target. But there's no doubt that at that start of that second half, Kilmarnock with the side, first to all the second balls, they stretched the Hearts defence with the width. One side you had Jones, the other side you had Roberts. It was coming from side to side, and it was you know, it was a much better performance from Kilmarnock.
We didn't see enough of that from Hearts though, and Gonçalves eventually had a couple of opportunities towards the end of the game. One he did hit, the second one he probably didn't when he should have.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed, but you know, you feel as if, you know, there's the width we talk about, driving, taking people on. Hearts didn't have enough people tonight who could take opponents out of the game by dribbling past them, driving into space, creating things. You know, a lot of the time it was individuals trying to make something happen themselves, and this is the one you think, just go and strike it. Is this a player lacking in confidence or self-belief? I'm not too sure, but when the ball comes into the 6-yard box, or the edge of the 6-yard box, you just want your centre forward to go and put his foot through it. Chris Boyd would have loved that opportunity.
I think he's surprised by the defender there, and it looks like he's almost trying to flick it with his heel. And you know, maybe when he sees the defender there, just try and control. I think Chris spoke about it in commentary. Control it with the right foot, spin and have a shot with the left. But I think it was just the fact that defender came on his blind side and it just surprised him a little bit.
Nowhere near enough of that. I'll come back to you in just a second. We can hear from the interim Kilmarnock manager right now, Lee McCulloch, with Ailey.
Lee, we can probably gloss over the first half slightly, but how pleased were you with the second half performance in particular?
Yes, delighted with the way we started the second half. I don't think we can gloss over that first half. That was simply not good enough. We didn't turn up, nowhere near them, showed them far too much respect. I actually thought we played Celtic last week, and it's as if we were in that mode again, giving them loads of time to play. We had a couple of words at half time, and I thought the application shown and the chances created second half was much better, and I was pleased with that.
How do you view the point overall then, taking into account the two different performances in each half?
Well, it's a good point. It's a clean sheet. It's a positive finish to the game. But we can't afford to start games like that, and especially for a good 40 minutes so far off it. So we got away with one there, to be brutally honest. But pleased with second half, pleased with the subs. Thought they made a slight impact, and yeah, we'll take the point and we'll move on.
It is a point closer to safety this year. Do you have a target in mind, a points target of where safe might be?
No, absolutely not. I think what we've said since I've come in is we don't look below us, we don't look above us, we just look at ourselves in the mirror and try and get better every day, individually and as a team, and I think the boys have done that, obviously apart from the first half today.
Thanks very much, Lee. Well done today.
Thank you. Cheers.
He was quite honest there, wasn't he, in his assessment?
Yeah, you know, hats off to Lee there. I think that was a fair, honest assessment of the game. You know, Ailey was quite willing to gloss over the first half, but he wasn't. And I think that quite clearly that was what was said in the change room at half time, and you saw the reaction in the second half. It was clear and evident for everybody to see that they came out a much changed side in that second half. And
when he gets to the end of the season, he looks back, do you think this could be an important point in the end? One more point towards safety?
It could well be. As I say, it takes him 1 point further out of the teams below them. And Michael's right, you know, it's an honest assessment of the game. You know, the first half was nothing really to write home about, and Kilmarnock certainly did better in the second half.
Connor Salmon to come back into this team as well. Is there enough about them to make sure they're well above any relegation threat?
Well, in the second half showing, yes. And I feel he just missed Connor Salmon tonight because there was so many good balls coming into the box. And at times Chris Boyd's isolated on his own. Whereas Connor Salmon, even though he plays off the left-hand side, sometimes the right-hand side, gets himself in at the back post. He's another physical presence. He would have loved that tonight playing against those centre-halves, Jolis and Novak. Soft kind of people. He would have been all over the top of them tonight. So certainly he was a miss. But, with the wide players they had, Jones, Lee hasn't won at home here, since he took the job. He'll be frustrated at that. He'll know he'll need 1 or 2 home wins just to take them away from trouble. Getting back to Hearts, though, we looked at the couple of chances Gonçalves had, but other than that, there wasn't a lot to consider in the game. And when you go back to the first half, at half time we were talking about aimless balls going forward, and it was the same really at times in the second half as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They had a couple of chances, as you say. Gonçalves had a couple of chances late on in the game, but it was when Chole went on and gave them that little bit of width that they then started to create a couple of chances. But you see for the footage there, everything was very tight. There was no width to their play, and on this type of surface,
they're almost impossible balls, Gary, aren't they?
Especially on this type of surface as well. Anything overhit, it would just run right through to the goalkeeper, and that's what tended to happen, especially first half. This is a big thing: the body language of the Hearts players, the frustration. Don Cowie, Jamie Walker, throwing the arms in the air, turning their back, not really pressing things as well as they do. That they look frustrated. They look as if, and I think senior players have a right to question a manager after the game and ask the question, what are we doing? What are we trying to do? Because whatever it is, it's not working. Whether managers like it or not, players have a right to question management and ask, what the heck is going on?
Let's hear from the Hearts head coach right now. Ian Cathro is with Ailey.
Ian, what's your overriding emotion when you look back on that match and reflect on that point?
Disappointment. We came here believing that we could win the game. I think certainly throughout it, we were right to believe that. I would say in the first half we've probably controlled, if not entirely dominated the game, but without any real threat, without creating enough chances. We looked at change a couple of things. Certainly Kilmarnock came out in the second half and were much more aggressive in their pressure, and it probably swung the game around a little bit. It became a bit scrappy in probably the first maybe 15 minutes of the second half, and at that point we've looked to make changes to try and get more flow in our attack and to push. It was a game for us to win. But overall, I think, as well as the disappointment, we've got to reflect on the fact that we've not been on a great run. That the team, is still working on building confidence and comfort and all those things back together. And it's a second clean sheet. It's not what we wanted, but we have to use it as something that allows us to move forward.
Offensively, how close do you feel you are to seeing what you want to see?
I think there's a lot of moments of games where we create some good football and we open up good spaces and we finish attacks with a lot of players in good positions. Could we have created more chance in the first half? Yeah, for sure. That's why we wanted to change things and why we had to push throughout the second half. And also, at a point in the game, I think Ijma's had 2 chances that almost every day of the week he puts the ball in the goal. We've got to work on those things to be able to speed them up a little bit and make sure we finish our attacks. But for sure, there was opportunities there for us to win the game.
Thanks very much, Ian.
Okay, thank you.
He's obviously very frustrated at the moment because he's not getting what he wants. And when you look at what's to come after the break, we shouldn't forget they finished their season with 3 away games. Is it going to be difficult to claw back St Johnstone now?
Yes, I would think so. And St Johnstone are a side that historically finish quite well. They're a strong team that don't drop a great deal of points either. So I think it's an uphill task for Hearts to drag St Johnstone back in and finish 4th. But just talking about his interview there, I think the vital thing was he was talking about the team not on a great run, not full of confidence. Well, if you're like that, the best thing to do is simplify the game. And far too much of that game, the top half of the park, is too complicated.
He certainly tried to get the message onto the park, if you like. A lot of notes came on.
Yeah, that's a nonsense for me, Darryl. There's 2,000 people at the game. You can shout on and tell people what you want to do. Call Perry Kitchen over and give him information. Whether this is a foreign thing, I don't know, or something these guys have worked under before. But I mean, this is basically take your pick. Yeah, I don't like the first one. I'm going to take the second one. That just brings pressure and attention to it, which doesn't need brought.
Okay, a little bit bamboozling that all was. Gentlemen, really enjoyed your company. We're going to be back with you in a couple of weeks for the Highland Derby. Right now, we're all away for a hot bath. See you later.